So I really had high hopes for this shoe. Hey guys, it's Epic, and I am doing a follow-up review of the Astral TLR-1 men's mesh hiking shoes. This video is not going to be a stats video. We actually already did a video showing the specifics of this shoe. I will put a link up top if you guys want to go back and watch that video if you haven't already. This is actually just going to be a pros and cons video based on what me and Rex experienced when we took this on our 200-mile trip of the Oregon coast. So let's start with the pros. This shoe is actually advertised as a light hiker and a kayaking shoe, and it did pretty much exactly what you'd expect a shoe advertised that way would do. It's made of a light mesh that you can actually see through, and it has drain holes in the front of the shoe, so water pretty much just runs right out of the shoe after you have to do a stream crossing or you're walking in the rain. And the light mesh makes air pass through it really quickly, so it's really easy for this shoe to dry once it gets wet. The bottom is made out of that G.15 rubber that we talked about in the previous video, and it just stuck to everything while it was wet. Wet rocks, wet roots, and it even kept me from slipping and sliding in the mud. I had a much better experience in wet conditions with this shoe than I did it with any model of my Ultras that I have ever used. I also like that the laces are a woven lace as opposed to a lace with filament on the inside. I really never liked the filament laces because eventually, after pulling on them long enough, those laces have a tendency to break, and I like that these laces are all one piece. The insoles on the shoe also provide adequate cushioning, and I actually had no problem with rub, hot spots, or blisters while hiking in this shoe. I was quite comfortable. Ultimately, this shoe performed just exactly how I would have expected it to perform. I really only have one con with this shoe, and that was the durability. However, since it is advertised as a light hiker and a kayaking shoe, we probably put it through more paces than it was originally intended. In all fairness, if we had actually hiked only beach for the entire 200 miles of the Oregon coast, I think this shoe probably would have held up okay. But when we hiked up into the headlines, we were actually dealing with rougher, more rugged, rocky, and rooted terrain, and I don't really think that this shoe is designed to do that for a long period of time. So ultimately, I would say that if you're going on day hikes, or you're going to go on light hikes, where you're going to be dealing with stream crossings and wet conditions, this may be a shoe that you want to consider. If you're going to be doing a long through hike or a more rigorous mountainous type of hike, I don't think this is the one that I would ultimately pick. Well guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell notification so you know when we make future content. You can also check us out on Instagram at Epic Outdoors. Now get off your butts. Go play outside.